Mrs. Agar, I believe you live near, close to this house.
Yes, 2 doors away.
And what do you know about it?
Well, I was round at my brother's place in Cadell Avenue when I heard the explosion. I saw the smoke. I thought it was my place, and I got almost to it. And then I found it was Mr. Talitsky's place.
And Mr. and Mrs. Talitsky, I believe Mrs. Talitsky was in the house when it actually hit.
Mrs. Talitsky is a widow.
I see.
And she was in the house, I believe, when it hit.
And she walked out towards the front door?
She kept walking to the front and got out
just after it exploded?
Yes.
I see. And it's a bit of a mess around here, isn't it?
Oh, it's dreadful.
Could have been anybody's house nearby.
Yes, and if this had been a weatherboard house, all our homes would have gone.
As well, I believe you live even closer than Mrs. Agar. You're next door.
Maybe I.
And what was the first you knew of this?
Oh, a terrific explosion. Everything just shook and jumped and didn't know what happened. And it's an awful thing.
But did you come out and have a look, or did you run out in the street?
No, I come out and had a look.
And what did you see?
The clothesline ablaze and everything else at the back. It was all
And the plane was... What,
right,
the plane had exploded?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas, I believe you were pretty close to the thing, right opposite, in fact. What happened?
Oh, I heard the plane first. You know, it sounded to be too low. And then I heard the bang, and well, I wasn't sure where it was because, you know, it sounds all around.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to grab the hose. At the
garden hose, was it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then I saw where it was and I rang the fire brigade.
Mm-hmm. You could see the smoke and flames.
Yeah, see the smoke.
Mm-hmm.
And rang the fire brigade, then I grabbed the hose and brought it into Mrs. Talitsky's house here. And I tried to put out what fire he could. I couldn't see Mrs. Talitsky anywhere, but I heard that she was out all right. We tried to get out the things, you know, that we could save. And then the fire brigade come after a while. Wasn't very long. And
you actually went into the house, although the front had been blown out of it.
Oh, the front wasn't blown out, the back was blown out.
The back blown out, the front door was blown out, I believe.
Yeah.
Mm. That's when Mrs. Talitsky came out.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, she's very lucky. I got a lot to be thankful for that
Could
she
have been
got out all
anybody's
right.
house around here then.
Yeah, it could have been anyway.
Oh. Started off as a slater, were you on manoeuvres with a group when this accident occurred?
Yes, we were on tactical exercises at the time, just east of Newcastle.
How many aircraft were concerned?
8 aircraft at the time.
What were these manoeuvres?
Tactical manoeuvres involving defensive and attacking procedures, which is normal for this type of work that we're doing at the moment.
Is this type of exercise normally carried out over populated areas?
Not normally, no.
What happened in this case?
Well, it apparently it must have been a combination of factors. I wouldn't like to comment on it at the time, but we just happened to drift over Newcastle at the time, and it was just unfortunate this accident occurred.
In your own words, exactly what did happen?
Well, I was in a section of 2. I was following my leader, and he initiated a certain manoeuvre which I intended to follow, but I got into difficulties in it, which turned out to be a spin, and I advised him accordingly. I applied normal and emergency measures in recovery, but this failed to respond. Well, the aircraft failed to respond to these emergency procedures. I advised the section leader that I was having trouble and that I was going to eject. And I did eject at 12,000 feet, and I knew there was no chance of recovery.
So this time your aircraft was completely out of control?
Completely out of control, that's true.
Would you have any idea as to the time that elapsed between when you first became in difficulties and the time you actually ejected?
In times, we can only judge that in time of seconds, because things happen so fast up there that I'd say between 20 or 30 seconds, but there again it could vary.
Now, you ejected at 12,000 feet. How high were you approximately when you first came into the spin?
We've estimated it must have been about 25,000 feet or above.
Now, you mentioned these emergency and normal procedures for pulling out of the spin. What exactly are they in the layman's terms?
Well, for laymen, I suppose that you know that there's a control column, and we have rudder pedals, which is normal in all aeroplanes, and the recovery of a spin, it's just in the Sabre, it's normal for other aeroplanes, which is centralised controls, and if that doesn't work, we try the emergency procedure of opposite rudder and stick full forward, but it just didn't work in this case.
In your training, is a Sabre ever put into a spin like this to test how you can get out of it?
No, spinning is prohibited in Sabres.
So actually what happened was something completely new to you as far as actual experience goes?
In actual experience, that's true, yes.
Your aircraft was found about a mile away from where you actually landed in your parachute. Does this indicate that you left it to the last moment to get out of the plane?
I believe that I left at a safe minimum 12,000 feet in a spin, and this type of aeroplane is getting down towards the minimum, I feel.
Why are you in the sick bay at the moment? You didn't incur any damage?
I was rather fortunate in escaping without any injury at all, and I'm just here under observation at the moment.
Is this likely to make any change in your career as a pilot?
I don't think so. I hope not anyway.